Good day, everyone. Good Monday. Hello, Greg. How are you? Good day, Denise and Maria and CJ. How is everyone? I am well. Let me turn this way a little bit. This way I don't have a black eye. I don't want that Illuminati black eye thing looking here. Okay. So today is Monday, June 17th, 2024. And thank you for your patience and your persistence and your perseverance in waiting for me to get back from New York. It was a long, quick trip, if that makes any sense, but it was good. We'll just leave it at that. No issues. So I'm a little unprepared, but I'm going to be off the cuff today, which sometimes works out pretty good. We'll get to morning prayers, and then we'll talk about how we're going to proceed with the virtues and the 7 deadly sins. We're going to start with the 7 deadly sins first. But I did want to make a little comment about the monarchy. All right, let's get started with morning prayers. And again, thank you for the Bitcoin donation that came in. Most generous. Thank you very much. And there was a question on whether or not, that's going to be a legitimate form of currency or means to barter and trade. And in my personal opinion is, I'm not a financial expert, and this is not financial advice, but I think diversification is important. And of course, obviously, honesty in your trading. It can be with anything. You can trade with you can trade with maple syrup. Okay, you can barter. You can use whatever is agreed upon between the two people who you're trading with, or the people you're trading with. My only hesitancy with a digital form of currency is that it's totally dependent upon electricity. And some will argue with me that it's not, but it is. And that is one of those things that man has developed and created, so man can control it and manipulate it. However, as an interim, I mean, so are many other things. So is the dollar bill, or the pound sterling, or it's probably not sterling anymore. But I did hear a few things that, let's say the morning prayers, and then I'll talk about that. In nomine Dei, matronum nostrae, et Amiesum Christum, et Patrum Spiritum Sanctum. Let us place ourselves in the presence of the Trinitarian Theophany, and in Catholic contemplation humbly adore the Divine Family and venerate the Divine Family. Most holy and venerable Trinitarian Theophany, one Divine Family, I believe that thou art here present. I venerate thee with the deepest humility. I render to thee with my whole heart the homage which is due to thee. O Trinitarian Theophany, relying on thine infinite goodness and promises, I hope to obtain the pardon of my sins, the help of thy grace, and life everlasting, through the merits of Deum Iesum Christum et Deum Matronum Nostrae. O Trinitarian Theophany, I love thee above all things with my whole heart and soul, because thou art all good and worthy of all love. I love my neighbor as myself for love of thee, and I forgive all who have injured me and ask pardon of all whom I have injured. Let us thank the Trinitarian Theophany for the many graces that we receive and offer ourselves and our sufferings up to heaven. O Trinitarian Theophany, I most humbly thank thee for all the favors thou hast bestowed upon me to the present moment. It is again thanks to thy bounty that I should live to see this day, and I desire to employ it solely in thy service. I consecrate to thee all my thoughts, words, actions, and sufferings of this day. Sanctify them, that there may be none that is not animated by thy love, or that would not tend to thy greater glory. Let us make a firm resolution to avoid evil and to do good, and let us beg of God, the Trinitarian Theophany, the graces which are necessary to us. Thou knowest my weakness, and that I am unable to do anything good without the help of thy grace. Deny me not thy grace, proportionate to my necessities. Give me strength to avoid everything which thou forbiddest, to practice the good which thou hast commanded, and enable me patiently to bear all the trials which it may please thee to send me. O Trinitarian Theophany, O Dea Matronam Nostrae, I place myself under thy protection. I throw myself with confidence into the arms of thy compassion. Be to me, O Mother of Mercy, my refuge in distress and my consolation in suffering, now and at the hour of my death. O Trinitarian Theophany, most holy, Dea Matronam Nostrae, et Deum Iesum Christum, et Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum, I am heartily sorry for having offended thee. I detest all my sins, because I dread the loss of heaven and the pains of hell. But most of all, because they offend thee, O most holy Trinitarian Theophany, Dea Matronam Nostrae, et Deum Iesum Christum, et Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum, who are all good and deserving of all my love. I firmly resolve, with the help of thy grace, to confess my sins, to do penance, and to amend my life. So, before I forget, what I was going to mention before the prayers was, speaking of money, the apparently I just had a quick lesson video last night about the dollar and it being pegged initially, once it was established, to gold, and so that the paper would still be backed by something at the bank that was tangible and of value. And then that in typical fashion, the money changers want to decouple it from gold, because then they can make more of it and steal more from the people. So then there was an issue in the 70s, and people wanted all their gold from the U.S., and it's quite involved. But bottom line was they decoupled it from gold, and then coupled it to oil, and then forced everybody around the world who wanted to buy oil, they had to use U.S. dollars. And Saudi Arabia agreed to that, and they were the majority of the oil producing nations at the time. And it doesn't mean that oil can't be gotten everywhere on the earth. It's just that if you try to do it somewhere else, you'll probably get killed. So they monopolized on it, and then they, like I said, in 1970s, they coupled it with oil, and then we call it the petrodollar. Then recently, though, with the establishment of the BRICS nations, Brazil, Russia, India, China, Saudi Arabia, and others who have recently joined them, they've now decided to decouple oil from the dollar, the U.S. dollar. So the Saudi Arabians no longer require the purchase of their oil in U.S. dollars. They can use other currencies. So now the U.S. dollar, virtually, or in essence, in all reality, has no value. It's not backed by anything of value. I think it's backed by the labor of the people, okay, which has more value. But since we don't control its production, they can do whatever they want with it. And basically, it's a confidence game right now, and it has been a confidence game for a while. So hang on, I think we're in for some big changes, because when something that large gets disrupted, it usually goes from a financial collapse into a war to cover for the financial collapse, and then the reestablishment of a new financial system after that. And in our case, we are praying for coming out of that into a Catholic system so that we can eliminate all of that deceit, which gets us into the 7 deadly sins, okay, which preclude or are paired with, but not paired with, there's opposites or corrective virtues to each one of these. So the 7 deadly sins are divided into spirituals and corporal sins. Okay, now I'm going to use spiritual because it's more towards that end of the that part of the world, the non-bodily world. So corporal sins are sins of the body. Spiritual sins are sins of the spirit. Okay, so pride, for example, occurs primarily in our thoughts. Lust, on the other hand, might begin in our thoughts, most definitely does, but is consummated with the body. So this is going to be a quick one today. I'm not going to get too in deep here, but the first 3 spiritual sins, and the one that most are guilty of, is pride, and that is a spiritual sin. And one quick definition or clarification is that it's an inflated state of being proud. Okay, and it's much more than that. It's thinking that we are better than others. You can come up with your own, and if you have a good one that you can put down in the comments, that would be good. Envy is the second one, and it is also spiritual. Jealousy toward the happiness of others. All right, we should be joyful for others who are doing well or are seem to be at peace. It's not just about money, okay? Because some people are envious of saints or those people who are at peace, and that can be a problem. 3 is wrath, okay, and that is a spiritual sin. But this is quite interesting, though, and I've had personal experience with this. Spiritual sin that is affected by the body. Okay, so the body affects that state of wrath. How so? There's and they clarify the type of wrath. So there's vengeful anger or indignation. Okay, and that's what we're talking about. Now, I just wanted to clarify that the body can affect that wrath or that quick to anger because of the state of its unwellness, which can be caused by parasites. You know me, got to talk about parasites. So when the body is when the parasites inside the body are upsetting the balance in the body, there is a hormone or multiple hormones or chemicals that the parasites will secrete into the body, and you don't even know this is happening. You don't feel it. just all of a sudden you feel like rage or wrath or anger by being slighted, or impatience or anything like that. And I learned that if you, and they call that bipolar now, if you have that, okay, more times than not, there's a parasite issue. Okay, then we're going to go to the 4 corporal sins. Acedia, or sloth, is a corporal sin. Okay, lack of effort can also be caused by parasites. Okay, you may decide that you want to do this, and you're not committing the corporal sin. Okay, but you just physically can't do it, and there's the medical industry has a lot of names for that, chronic fatigue or stuff like that. But majority of it is caused by toxins in the body. Now, however, if you're healthy and then you're slothful, you just don't feel like doing it because it's a mental thing. That could be in the spiritual category as well. Okay, then there's avaritia, or greed, avarice, cupiditas, selfish desire to have more. Okay, that's a big one in society, and it's a tough one because there's basic needs that should be met in society, and there's those who are constantly trying to keep us from having the basic needs. So we get in this state where we want to have more. Now it becomes greed when you have those basic necessities, but you want them for yourself so that you can feel better, or it's more of a feeling. Then there's gluttony, excess in eating or drinking, or in any activity really. You can have gluttony of your cell phone, okay, and that can be caused also by parasites, because they want you to eat the things that they want, that where they can thrive, and they make you crave things, okay. And then lastly, there's lust, which is a corporal sin, and that is to have an intense desire or need. Okay, and again, believe it or not, that can be caused by parasites. Okay, there's a certain point, however, where that lust becomes like almost psychotic. Okay, and that's really dangerous, and the cause of many to go to hell. So there you have those 7 deadly sins, and we're gonna talk about the virtues some more this week when I'm more prepared. And one last thing I wanted to mention was, which I had a discussion with a gentleman, traditionalist, and they were swooning over Robert Sungenis's book, Galileo was wrong, the church was right. And partially I agree with him, but I found his manner to be a little bit pompous, in that he would not consider the other views of the shape of the earth. Okay, now I'm talking about this because in a monarchy we are going to have Catholic universities, and part of the importance of Catholic universities is to Let me just read this. It's quite good. In a Catholic state, Catholic universities must work to improve the happiness and prosperity of Catholic society in a practical, moral, and artistic sphere. The king and local princes, under the guidance of the Catholic Church, oversee the quality of those holding positions in universities. An annual public oath of fidelity to the Catholic faith would be required. I just edited that a little bit. And by definition, those who refuse to take such an oath are opposed to truth and are in league with error. And there's where we have to be very careful in universities and colleges and schools, because they are being entrusted to form the minds of and hearts of the youth. Since ultimate truth has been revealed to man by the Trinitarian Theophany continuously, however, it's not just the Trinitarian Theophany saying, here it is. We have to ascend to and try to discern, okay, what is the ultimate truth, okay, which is the Trinitarian Theophany itself. However, there's a process that everyone goes through. So anyway, they were giving examples here of this, and they're pushing this whole. They've been pushing the globe Earth model for since forever, okay, and they would make fun of those who would talk about the flat Earth, okay, and there's so much misconceptions and misunderstandings, but it is well worth the trip into investigating. And so people ask me, well, why is it so important what the shape of the Earth is where we live? Because truth. It's just that simple. It's important because one is true and one is not. And truth is extremely important. Fact. Okay, and I liked what because truth could be something for somebody else, whereas in fact is fact. So I like to use the word fact with truth. So really quickly, the doctor Sungenis, okay, and that's might be part of this problem, is that he's been programmed, in schools, and has been promoting the heliocentric model. Okay, so the heliocentric model is where he's been promoting the other one. I forgot, just fell out of my head. Anyway, he promotes where the Earth, the sun goes around the Earth, so that the Earth is the center of the universe, okay, and everything goes around that, not we going all around the sun. Part of the reason why they came up with the whole we're going around the sun is to make us less significant in the eyes of the Creator. Damn. So, however, when you investigate, look into, as many have now, and it's becoming clearer and clearer that water levels itself, so that it isn't either of those, but it is a flat Earth with a dome and another dome under it. I'm not going to get into that now, but there's plenty out there to start researching it. But there's not, because they're censoring that. If anybody's interested, I can help you out. All right, so let's get to the most important thing here, which is the Mass. The point I'm trying to make is that the Catholic society will have to have those who are truly discerning and virtuous as its leaders, and we need them now to get started. Deum vobiscum, et quoque apote. Oremus. O Trinitarian Theophany, the Creator and Redeemer of all the faithful, grant to the souls of thy servants and handmaids the remission of all their sins, that they may obtain by loving prayers the forgiveness which they have always desired, who livest and reignest with thee, one Trinitarian Theophany, forever and ever. Suscipe Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum Hanc Immaculatam Hostiam, quam ego indinius famulus tuus offeri tibi Deum meum vivum et verum, pro omnium individibus peccatis et offensionibus et negligencies meis, et pro omnibus circumstantibus, sera pro omnibus fidelibus catholicorum vivis atque defunctis ut mihi et iris proficiat ad salutem. Deum qui humanae substantiae dignitatem mirabilitu contradicit mirabilis reformasti da nobis peruis atquae et divini mysterium eius divinitatis esse consortes qui humanitatis nostrae fieri dignatus est particips Deum Iesum Christum Filium qui tigum vivit et regnat in unitate Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum. Offerimus tibi Deum calicem saitaris tuam deprecrantes clementium ut conspectu divinae maestatis tuae pro nostra totius mundi salute cum adoris suavitatis ascendat. In spiritu humilitatis et in animo contrito suscipiam orate Deum Iesum Christum, et sic fiat sacrificium nostrum et spiritu hodie, ut placeat tibi Deum matronam nostrae et Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum. Veni sanctificator. Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum, et sanctificita plata prosequendo, et a capere hoc sacrificium tuo sanctum nomini praeparatum. Suscipe Sancto Trinitas contemplationem quam tibi efferimus amorem passiones, resurrectiones et ascensiones Deum Iesum Christum, et in honorem Dei matronam nostrae, et a Papa Peter Sanctorum et Istorum et Omnium Sanctorum, ut illis proficiat ad honorem nobis autem et salutem, et illi pro nobis intercedere dinentur in caelis, coram amorem agimus in telis, per innum Christum Deum nostrum. Orate, ut meum vestrum sacrificium acceptabile fiat ab Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum. Suscipiat Deum Iesum Christum sacrificium de manibus tuis ad laudem et gloriam nominis sui, ad utilitatem quoque nostram totiusquae ecclesiae suae sanctae. Deum vobiscum, quoque apote, sursum corda habemus ad Deum. Gratias agamus Deum nostrum, dignum et justum est. Te igitur clementissime mater, et pater Deum matronum nostrae, et Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum, per Deum Iesum Christum Filium tuum Deum nostrae, supplices rogamus et petimus, uti accepta, habeas et sanctificas, haec sanctam sacrificium ilibata. In primis quae tibi efferimus, pro ecclesiam tuam sanctam catholicam, quam pacificare custodire ad honore et regere digneris tot obiterarum atque catholicae. Memento Deum famulorum tuorum. We pray for the sick and the suffering. We especially pray for Katie and Gage, Neil and Earl Lively, Mindy, Clarette, Maria Josephina Mose, Henry, Barbara and Benedict Santa Croce, Mark Jr. and Casey, Mr. Nobody, Ann Biltink, the Cantu and Duarte families, Jenna, Lena, Lori, Aaron and family, Maria and the Lineweber family, the Dasco, Nye, Tafor, Began, and Wolf families, and Alex Tafor. We pray for Mr. Nobody to receive the funding and strength needed to complete the first Sede Vacantis Catholic Council office in Monastery of Illinois. We pray for an end to all governmental allowance or sanctioning of abortion, transgenderism, transhumanism, child trafficking, child sexual abuse of any kind, anywhere, place, or time. We pray for the establishment of a Catholic monarchy with a sound Catholic system of labor, human value, medium exchange with no usury, and for Catholic courageous men to step forward as leaders of this Catholic society. We also ask that all these intentions listed here be approved according to the Trinitarian Theophany's holy and divine will. Et omnium circumstantium, quorum tibi fidis cognita est et nota devotio, pro quibus tibi afferimus, vel qui tibi offert hoc sacrificium laudis, pro se suisque omnibus, pro redemptione anomarum suarum prospe salutis et incolamitatis suae, tibi que redunt vota sua aeterno, Deum vivo et vero, communicantes et memorem venerantes in primis gloriosae, semper Dei maternam nostrae, et Deum Iesum Christum, et Beatorum martyrium tuorum Papae Sancti Petri, et Sancti Lucia, et Sancti Jacinta, et Sancti Francisco, et Sancti Juan Diego, et omnium sanctorum tuorum quorum meritis precibusque concedas, ut in omnibus protectionis tuae muniamur auxilio, periendum Christum Deum nostrum, quam oblationem tu Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum in omnibus consecratem acceptabilem quae feceri digniris ut nobis corpum et sanguinem fiat didictissimi Filium tuum Deum Iesum Christum, qui pridie quam pateretur et cepit panem in sanctis ac venerabilis manus suas, et elevatis oculis in caelum, ad te Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum, suum omnipotentem tibi gratias agens, consecravi fregi dedique lumnis sui dicens accipite et mondicate ex hoc omnes. Hoc est enim corpus meum. Simile modo postquam ceremonia est accipiens et hunc preclarum, calicem in sanctus ac venerabilis manus suas idem tibi gratias agens Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum, consecravit dedique lumnis sui dicens accipite et bibite ex omnes. Hic est enim calix sanguinis mei mysterium fidei, quae pro nobis et pro multis effundetur in remissionem peccatorum, haec ut escumque feceritis in me monum facietis. Unde et memores Deum nos servit tui, sed plebs tua sancta, e justum Christum Filium tuum Deum nostrae, tam beatae passiones nec non et ab inferis resurrectionis, sed et in caelus gloriosae ascensionis offerimus praeclare maiestati tuae, de tuis donis actatis, supra quae propitio axareno vutur respicere digneris. Supplices te rogamus Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum, iube hec paetere per manus tuum ut quod ex hoc altaris participatione sacrosanctum Deum Filium tuum, corpus et sanguinem subsenimus, omni sanctificatione, cae leste et gratia Dei per amor, periendum Christum Deum nostrae. We pray for those who died. We especially pray for John Cahill, for whom this Mass is being offered. ipsis Deum et omnibum in Christum quis gentibum locum refugere illu qui se pacis ut interrogeas deprecamur per illum Christum Deum nostrum, per quem haec omnia Deum Iesum Christum semper bona creas, sanctificas, vivicas, consecratis et praestas nobis. Per ipsum et cum ipso et in ipso, est ibi Deum Matrum omnipotenti in unitate Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum, omnis honor et gloria. Ave Dea Matronam Nostrae, gratia plena Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum tecum. Dea Matronam Nostrae, Matram Deum Iesum Christum, misericordia nobis, peccatoribus nunc et in hora mortis nostrae. Libera nos quaesimus, Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum, ab omnibus malis, praeteritis, praesentibus et futuris, et intercedente, beata gloriosa semper Dea Matronam Nostrae, cum Papa Petrum Sanctorum et omnibus sanctis da propitius pacem in diebus nostris, ut opi misericordiae aduiti tuae aduiti et peccato, simus semper liberi et ab omni perturbatione securi. Per iendum Deum nostrum, Iesum Christum Filium Tuum Deum nostrum, qui tecum vivit et reinat in unitate Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum, per aeternam. Pax Deum Iesum Christum sit semper vobiscum, et quoque apud te. Haec mixtio et consecratio corporis et sanguinis Deum Iesum Christum. Fiat accipiendibus nobis in et salutem aeternam. Pax tecum, et quoque apud te. Deum Iesum Christum, qui ex voluntate Deum Matronam Nostrae, cooperante Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum, per mortem tuum unum vivificasti, libera me per hoc sacro sanctum corpus et sanguinum tuum ab omnibus iniquitatibus meis et universis malis, et fac me tuis semper in haerere mandatis, et a te numquam separari permittas, qui cum eodem Deum Matronam Nostrae, et Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum, vivis et regnam aeternam. Perceptio corporis tui Deum Iesum Christum, quod ego indignus sumere praesimo non mihi proveniat in judicium et condemnationem, sed pro tua pietate prosit mihi ad tutamentum mentis et corporis et ad medelam, percipiendam qui vivis et regnas, cum Deum Matronam Nostrae in unitate Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum. Panem calestem accipim et nomen Deum Iesum Christum invocabo. Dea Matronam Nostrae non sunt dignius, ut itus tectum meum sentantur de verbo et senabatur anima mea. Deum Iesum Christum non sunt dignius, ut itus tectum meum sentantur de verbo et senabatur anima mea. Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum non sunt dignius, ut itus tectum meum sentantur de verbo et senabatur anima mea. Corpus Deum nostrum Iesum Christum custodiet anima mea. Quid retribuam Deum Iesum Christum pro omnibus, quae retribuit mihi, calicem saitaris accipim et nomen Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum invocabo. Laudans invocabo Deum Matronam Nostrae, et ab inimicis meis salvus ero. Sanguis Deum nostrum Iesum Christum custodiet anima meam. Corpus Deum nostrum Iesum Christum custodiet animam tuum. Cordori subsimus, Deum Iesum Christum puramente capiamus, et Dei munere temperae fiat nobis remedium sempiternum. Corpus tuum Deum Iesum Christum quod sumpse et sanguis quam potavi adheriat. Visceribus meis et praesta ut in me non remaniat scelerum macula quam pura et sancta reficerunt sacramenta. Deum vobiscum, et quoque apote, oremus. May the prayer of thy suppliants profit the souls of thy servants and handmaids, we beseech thee, O Trinitarian Theophany, that thou mayest free them from all sins, and make them sharers in thy redemption, who livest and reignest with thee, one Trinitarian Theophany, forever and ever. Deum vobiscum, et quoque apote, ite mises, Deum gratia. Placia tibi sancta Trinitam obsequium substitutus mei et praesta, ut sacrificium quod oculis tuae majestatis inninus obturitibis et acceptabile mihi quet omnibus, pro quibus irut obtuli sit de miserante propitiabile per Christum Deum nostrum. Sanctificat vos omnipotens Deum, Matronam et Filium et Spiritum Sanctum, Deum Matronam Nostre, et Deum Iesum Christum, et Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum. Gracias. O Trinitarian Theophany, I believe, I venerate, I hope, and I love thee. I beg of thee pardon for those who do not believe, do not venerate, do not hope, and do not love thee. most holy Trinitarian Theophany, I venerate thee profoundly, and I offer to thee the most precious body, blood, soul, and divinity of Deum Iesum Christum, who was, is, never shall be, present here in reparation for the outrages, sacrileges, and indifference by which he himself is offended, and through the infinite merits of his most sacred heart and the immaculate heart of Dea Matronam Nostrae, I beg of thee the conversion of poor sinners. In nomine Dei Matronam Nostrae, Deum Iesum Christum, et Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum. Gracias. So we broke the 300 subscriber mark, and we're going up and down a little bit. But we're hovering right around there. So that's wonderful. Thank you very much for all your help and your dedication. All right, we will see you tomorrow, and please go and sanctify all those you meet, and have a great day.